Okay, so got a little bathroom to do here. This is all going to be Schluter system with Kerdi-board. I already got one piece up there, and then the Schluter drain. This is it here. Schluter curb. I'm not going to use a tray in here because it's small. This is about 3 by 3. I would have to get a 4-foot tray and cut it down. And there's going to be a niche here, so this is going to be all open for now. Well, actually, I'm going to put the Kerdi-board over it, and once I lay out the tile, I will figure out exactly where it's going to go and put some studs in there. See that stud? How that's way out? This one and this one aren't bad, but there's a middle stud. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that to get a nice flat wall. See that? I don't know if you can see that. See, there's a big gap in there. And same on this wall here. It's not really flat. Okay, so this is the Kerdi-board. It comes in different thicknesses. This is the 1/2-inch version, and it's got a waterproofing membrane on this side and on that side, and it's a polystyrene extruded polystyrene foam in the middle. It's pretty stiff, but it's very light, and it's completely waterproof. And you cut this with a utility knife. And that's it. That's all you need. So I cut all the pieces because the stud's not all in plane. I mixed up some thin set. It's kind of stiff. And I'm going to put that studs, and then tap in the Kerdi-board to get it flat. Okay, so this, see how it's built out? So when I put the board on, I can use a level to flatten it out. I'm just going to use one screw so it doesn't slide down. And I think we've got to touch that up. I can't put the screws in. This screw isn't tightened in. It's just to hold it up from sliding down. If I put the screws in, that'll push everything in. So I just want to set that to set up before I put the screws in. This one here is good. This is the one that's furthest out. So I need to fur those out a little bit. Put this one screw in here to hold it up. So perfectly flat. Okay, so I'll just make sure I'll measure it, put them at line down, and make sure it's square with everything. So I forgot to turn the camera on when I was installing that, but just put thin set under it, and on the sides, and then you push it in and make a level. Forgot to turn the camera on. Okay, so this is the drain, and there's the pipe to go down to there. I'm just going to dry fit it right now, but this goes on here, and then I cut this to length. And when I put this in, I want to make sure that it's level both ways. I'm going to make sure that it's level like that and like that when you cement it. I pre-cut all this Kerdi-band. It's like the Kerdi membrane, only it's thinner, made for the corners and seams, and I cut a bunch of patches to go over the holes, the screws. An 8 by 8 inch square notch trowel. That's to put the membrane up. And this is a seal, the mixing valve, and that's for the pipe up there. So what kind of mortars can you use? Schluter makes their own mortar. They make 3 different kinds. They make a quickset mortar, they make a unmodified mortar, and they also make a premium modified mortar. The unmodified is Schluter set, the modified is Schluter all set. I would recommend that you just use the Schluter all set for everything. That way you don't have to figure out whether you need to use a modified or unmodified thin set. You can also use other manufacturers' mortars, but you would have to check with those manufacturers as to which they recommend for Schluter system products. That's the corner. When you mix a thin set, you want it to be looser than normal, but still able to hold a notch. So now I'm going to embed the Kerdi-band. So that's like that, and I'm going to go all the way around. Okay, so these long ones are done. I'm still going to put that on, and then patch all the screw holes. Well, that's that, and that's that. And I pre-cut all these patches. I'm going to put some of these on now. When you're putting the Kerdi-band on, you always want a 2-inch overlap on any seam or any corner. 2 inches overlap. The band I'm using here is 5 inches by so many feet long. Cut the patches at least 4 by 5, but might as well just cut them square, 5 by 5. You want to make sure that you put it over the center of the washer. As I said, a 2-inch overlap on any. Okay, so I got all that all patched. So I'm going to prep this for the drain and for the mud. And what you do is you put felt paper or some plastic, whatever, to protect the plywood, and what that does is it stops the plywood absorbing the moisture out of the mud when you put it in. And then you put the wire down, and you always want to wear gloves when dealing with the wire. Okay, so I glued this piece on here. Now this has got to be level. Now this floor isn't level at all, so I'm going to have to level it off. So that's why I got those two blocks. Okay, so let's glue these parts together. Get the appropriate solvent and glue. In this case it's PVC. Clean both connections with the solvent first, and then apply a liberal amount of glue to both parts, and then you push the parts together. Level that way, and level that way. I'll tweak a little bit when I put the mud in. The first thing I'll do is I'm going to do a level perimeter, and then I stuff the mud under here. Make sure this is really supported well, and then I'm going to fill the inside. Okay, so I have my 2-foot level. I got a screed. This is just a piece of wood, straight piece of wood, so I can screed across like this. And then I got a magnesium float, wooden trowel, and a steel trowel. I'm probably not going to use all of them, but just have them up here just in case. So okay, so I got that hole down under the sidewall. Since there are quite a number of different applications and situations that can occur when installing a mud floor, please check my channel for the one appropriate to your situation. I have quite a number of videos that deal with mud floors in a shower pan that cover pretty much everything, so please check my channel. Put these half-face ones on. Okay, so I have a laser board. Now, I'm using a laser level, but if you have a level, you just get a level line and put your laser board on the level line. And so I have a laser board going all around here, from here, and all around to here. If you put a level across this, it'll be perfectly level all the way across to here. Now I know everything I put on here is going to be perfectly level. Then I'm going to start on that back wall and work my way around. So this bathroom has 9x18 tile and a running bond pattern, and there's going to be a glass border here that stops at the full tile over here. It's not going to continue into the shower, and bull nose all the way around, wrapping around. We'll have to put the Kerdi membrane on there, and the tile's going to go all the way around with this border going all the way around.
So I'm going to spread some thin set for a few tiles on the ledger board, and then I'm going to make sure that they're perfectly level, flat, and straight. And because the ledger board I know is level, that's not going to be too difficult to do. Best practice is actually to have, when you trowel out a thin set, instead of having swirls or lines going all directions, the best thing to do is have them going all in one direction, either horizontally or vertical. That way when you place the tile into the thin set, it's easier to collapse. Something to remember is when you're working with thin set, you want to try and keep the tile as clean as possible and to keep the grout lines as clear as possible of thin set as well. They're going to be easy to clean it out when the thin set is still soft, but once the thin set gets hard, it's going to be much more difficult. So the cleaner you keep it while you're installing it, easier it's going to be when it comes time to grout.
Okay, so I've got these walls down up to here, this glass border, so it's going to be like that, and then the border starts again out here and goes around.
What I'm going to do here is I'm going to put my level across all the tiles to make sure that everything is perfectly flat and that all surfaces of all the tiles actually sit flat against the level.
Then I'm going to cut out in this niche here. Okay, so I marked this here. This is where the niche is going. So I marked it, and then I cut it. Actually, I already cut this with just a utility knife. I just cut this with a utility knife. Already cut. And this is where my niche is going to be. It's going to have a shelf at about this height here for the shampoo and the soap. So I'm going to save this piece because this will go in the back. There's got to be a piece of 2x4 here, a piece of 2x4, and a piece of 2x4, one here as well. Okay, so I got a piece of 2x4 here. I'll put one up here, just a couple of screws, and I just gotta adjust this a little bit, and a piece of 2x4 here, and then I'll put those in. So I didn't have any more 2x4s, but I had some pieces, so I just pieced them in. Same over here. Okay, so I got all these already pre-cut and labeled. One goes here. So this is really an unnecessary step, but I'm going to do it anyway. So the Kerdi-band is all the way around, and all the corners and everything's waterproofed. So now I'm going to start doing some more tiles. Okay, so I put a ledger board up here on the ceiling from until it lines up with this here, this point here, and this point here. So that way when I put my ceiling tile up, I can just push it up against the board and know that it's going to be exactly where it needs to be.
This tile on the walls is actually a ceramic tile. You're sticking the tile on the ceiling. You want to make sure that you get good coverage and that tile's not going to fall off. I just pushed it up in place, pushed it up against the ledger board.
See, I got the wall tile up down to here. This is the membrane, the Kerdi membrane. And then I'm going to install that onto the mud. First thing I'm going to do is cut a piece, put it in here. So this is 34 by 33. In the box with the drain, they give you a template. That's for this here. You know what size to cut it. So that's the size. Give it a drink, and this will remove the dust and stop the piston from tying up prematurely. Kerdi trowel, mix it up a little bit looser than normal, but still be able to hold the notch. Now for the trowel, the key it in. And then flip it over. It helps to put like reference marks on so you know exactly where it goes. Smooth it out. And remove all the bubbles. That's what you want to see. Okay, so I got the preformed inside corners, and then I got the Kerdi-band right there. Yeah. Now, from this corner to here is about 2.5. So as long as you go close to this edge here, you're going to have the 2-inch overlap. And you don't go all the way into the corner over on top of this, because then you got this going over, and you got the other one. You got like 4 layers. Do that all the way around. Okay, so these are the 3 components to the Schluter drain. This here snaps on here, like that. Then this goes through here, like that. And then it's going to go like there, and this, you can move this around a bit, a little bit of adjustment, and you can move it up and down a little bit. So I'm just going to leave it like this for now, and I'm going to lay out the tile, see how the tile falls, and then position this where it needs to go. You'll see in a minute. So, and this all gets filled with thin set here, and I'm going to put blue tape on here just to protect this a little bit, and then I'm going to start laying tile floor. Okay, so usually when I have a shower floor, I will lay out the whole floor before I cement anything down. Cut the whole thing in. When I'm dry laying all the tile, see how it fits, and make adjustment, pick it up, and cement it down. So I'll cut those pieces in over here. If I put it in the middle, it's going to have like tiny pieces all the way around, so I'm just going to put it to one side and then cut those pieces in.
Okay, so all my tile is dry laid. It's not cemented down yet, and I got lucky on this one. I only had to cut the tiles around the drain. All the tiles around the perimeter are all full tiles. Okay, so I'm just going to pick up one row. If the shower was large, I might have picked up 2 rows, but I'm going to pick up one row of tile, as I've done here, and leave the other tile in place. That gives me a reference for putting the tile back. So I'm going to spread the thin set, put my tile in, feed it in with a rubber float, pick up the rest of the tile, set that tile. Okay, so it's very important to make sure that you completely fill the assembly with thin set so that there are no voids. That is what's going to lock it in place. Spread my thin set all the way around and make sure it's all filled and all smooth. And then when I put my tile in, before I put my tile in, I'm going to push this down, grate assembly down so it's level with the tile, and I'm also going to backfill a little bit under the grate so that that is locked in place. Now this is important because if you don't fill it, then the assembly can collapse down under the tile. So what locks everything is in place is the thin set. Okay, so now the tile's in place, I'm going to push the grate down so that it's even with the top of the tile, or even just slightly below, because you don't want the grate assembly to be above the tile, because then it'll trap water there. So you want it to be exactly even, or even just slightly below. So I'm going to push that down, make sure it's even, and then I'm going to put in the tiles that I already cut around the drain. And this is important. You want to make sure that it's even with the tile, or like I said, just slightly below, so that no water will gather at the drain.
Now all I have to do is put the bottom row of tile in all the way around, and this shower is complete except for the grouting.
Okay, so all the tile is installed, and the only thing left is caulk and grout, which I'm going to do right now. So this is the finished product. Okay, so this is about 8 months later. I'm back in this house doing another bathroom. So I'm just taking a quick video of this shower that's been in use for about 8 months, 7-8 months.